Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather, and I'm going to try to make this video very quick and just go over the data that's coming up. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. If you are, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's look at what we have coming up. It's actually going to be one of the biggest week we're going to see before the year ends. This should really set the tone for it, whether we are going to get this center rally or this is it. So let's look at what we have coming up. All right. So we have the main core CPIs coming out on Tuesday, and then year-over-year CPIs coming up as well. So if the CPI comes anywhere between 6.9 to 7.2%, you can definitely see market will bounce and we'll see that rally. However, if the CPI comes a little bit higher, because I'm not really sure what numbers they're going to be projecting this year to this CPI to see it's coming down, because the last CPI that we got on for that one to come lower was because they recalculated the health insurance premium. That helped the CPI numbers to come down. However, if we remember last week, we did have some of the data come in hotter than expected, and we saw that drop in the market as well. So we'll see what those numbers come up, and you want to keep your mind open. So it could be anywhere between 6.9 to 7.2. If it comes lower, that means we see the market rally. If we come any higher, hotter than expected, we will see that drop in the market. And then you right away, right after, you have a Fed coming on. Powell is coming on Wednesday at 2:30. So that will also give us what Fed is thinking about with the interest rate. Right now, the market has kind of already, I would say, counted on that it's going to be 50-point basis. But if it is any lower, or if he hints the rate's going to be higher than that, we will see that drop in the market again. And then Thursday, we have those continued numbers of the jobless claims, the retail numbers. And then Friday, we have the PMI numbers coming up as well. So all of this data is going to be pretty significant for us to see what the tone is going to be for the rest of the 3 weeks that we have left. And then the other thing is, remember, we've talked about the 15th, wherever the 15th do tend to fall in the month. We complete that week with the mostly so far since starting back in April, we've completed that week with the red candle. So having said that, we'll see what, because the 15th does fall in this week, again, this coming week as well. So we're going to see where we do end up with that as well. So if that's the case, that means either the CPI is going to come hotter than expected, or Fed Powell is going to be very hawkish, and he's going to be, pretty hammering that they're not done. The interest rates are going to be still continue to go higher. So we'll see, because market is already calculating the 50-point basis in. And if that comes higher, we'll again see that volatility in the market. So we're looking at the SPY weekly chart right here. As we can see, this trend line also on the week has respected on SPY, not on the daily only, but on the weekly, we have this trend line, and it's been rejected. Currently on the week, we are above the 10 moving average. But if we go to the daily, it's actually rejected now 4 times. Ever since we lost it on Monday the 5th, we have been trying to break above, but it's been struggling to get above the 10 moving average. So if the CPI comes, comes lower than what's being estimated, we should see again retest the 200 moving average, and then continue to see which way the market's going to go on Wednesday when Powell talks. If it is lower than expected, and if you were to take these bars when we last dropped, let me pull this down right here. So we're looking at the 16% down on here. So if we were to measure, since we've already have that drop, and then the 16% would bring you somewhere it's going to be even lower than that. So we're probably looking at that 336, the 340 that we've been looking. But again, it's the end of the year. We've always talked about the Santa rally happening in December. Is that going to be over with this CPI coming hotter than expected? Or we are going to really get that, Santa rally and continue to break above and still see the 410 and 412 area being hit on SPY. I think that's gonna, if that were to happen, I think that's gonna happen with the very quick move based on some of this news, and then we continue to sell off. That's my take. If that were to happen, should be a very, very quick move. I don't think so. It's gonna be that we're gonna say days of climbing up. If that happens with a quick move, you can bet that it should start to come down. And if that's happening, and you were to pull the previous data, if you look to the left, any move, the first move has not been the correct move. It's always the second move that market tends to follow. So keep that in mind. And then the other thing on the VIX is it's reclaimed above the 10 moving average. And this was a key level for it, the 21.28 and 21.64. We've broken those both levels. The next is if you get the VIX above 23.47, you can bet that SPY should continue to come down into the 380, 369 areas. Those areas should be hit. VIX is trying to get above the 50% on your RSI. And if you look at the SPY is sitting right at trying to go below the 50% of your RSI. So either of these things, pay attention to it. Where do we end up when the CPI hits? That also will give you an idea what would Wednesday bring. And if that volatility, and for that, you can see the volatility being measured by the VVIX along with your VIX. And as we can see, this is also, you can see that we are closed with a very bullish candle above the 10 moving average for your VIX volatility. And it's already above the 50 moving, above the 50 point on your RSI. Same thing, let's look at quickly on SPX. We're below the 200 moving average. That resistance of trend line also could not break above it. It tried. We are sitting in a small demand zone as well. So if we do get a small bounce, reject at the 200 moving average and then continue to come down. So that's what we have. The other thing you want to pay attention to is the dollar. So dollar is also sitting at a level. It bounced beautifully from the demand zone right here. And we are holding this support as well above the 104.68. And if dollar recaptures above the 200 moving average, SPY could see those new lows that, this 16% drop, we could continue to start to see in SPY as well. So keep an eye on the dollar, what it's going to be doing. And the other thing is also Dow Jones has started to get really weak as well. Below the 10 moving average, it's still above 200 moving average. However, these are way more bearish candles that we are seeing on SPX or we've seen on the QQQ. So we'll also pay attention to this, what it's going to be doing. The thing with Dow Jones, your next demand on the smaller time frames is somewhere, I believe it's in the 3,300 area. So 33,000 area, sorry. So keep this in mind that you want to look at the bigger picture. Don't just look at one thing. Do look at all of this when you are trying to make a decision, whether you're getting into a swing, whether you're getting into a day trade. I think this week is going to be such a big learning week to see how the data comes and how does the market behaves. I'll be taking a lot of notes to see, what's happening in the market. So keep your, mind open. I'm not sitting biased whether to say market is only going to go up or it's going to go down. I think we're going to see both of the moves. I don't think so. We're going to only see one move. I think we're going to end up seeing both. One is going to be very impulsive, and then the other one is going to be a slow ground, whether it's going to be to the upside or to the downside of it. And the only one I am including is Apple, because Apple is have been struggling with this trend line to break above. So anytime we've seen the 150, 152 area, it's been rejected pretty hard, and we've continued to come down. And if Apple gets more weak and it's dropping, we should see rest of the market to also come down. So pay attention to what Apple is doing. The other thing that you want to keep an eye on is the oil. If oil continues to weaken and it's coming down, you will see that yen and euro dollar will get strong. So pay attention to those three things as well. So this is it for me for today. I'm sorry, my voice is completely like leaving me, and I'm really hoping I feel better for this week. It's been a struggle to stay up, but again, thank you so much, and thank you for supporting, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.